back to the Whirlpool, where fibs and fabrications are pulled under and drowned. I'm Michael Worley. These are dark days for radio. Despite being the greatest broadcast medium ever created, the radio has been pushed aside by newer and more prurient technologies, such as television and the den of filth and sin known as the internet. How fondly I recall being a child and sitting on the floor of my parents' living room listening to the wholesome, life-affirming programs that emanated from the speakers of my father's restored antique Philco console. Shows like The Conclavist Singer's Gospel Hour, Adventures in Theodicy, and of course, The Sean Hannity Show. But now, in addition to competition from other forms of media, the radio is threatened by the imminent demise of some of its most long-standing institutions. Just recently, Rush Limbaugh announced he is suffering from advanced lung cancer. Truly a tragic fate for one who has brought so much goodness into the world. And here in our local area, radio personality Shecky Shellberg, beloved for decades as the Jew-hating Jew, has announced that he will be retiring from WOTC 1700 AM. The departure of Rush and Shecky from the airwaves will be an almost incomprehensible loss. Both men have helped to shape our social and political discourse into what it is today, and for that, people like me will owe them a debt of gratitude that can never truly be repaid. I know both men were longtime smokers before politically correct professional persecutors like the American Medical Association bullied them into quitting, so as soon as I finish this episode, I intend to purchase a pack of Marlboros, light one up, and hold it over my head so that its smooth, rich, smoky flavor can ascend to heaven itself. So, Shecky, Rush, just know that when I raise that cig high, I'll be saluting you and everything you stand for. And I dare say a lot of your admirers all across the country will be doing the same thing. Hello once again, faithful Whirlpool viewer, if there even is such a thing. For the last several weeks, I've come to you pleading for your help, beseeching you to sponsor the show or purchase the products I've been personally selling from my private collection at a cost substantially less than what I presume to be their actual market value, and so far, the response has been, frankly, non-existent. It's disappointing to spend your life doing important work, godly work for people who need you, only to have those same people fail to show up when you need them. However, I was taught from the time I was a child that in times of trial, we are to put ourselves in God's hands, and as long as we do that, hope will abide. So I'm going to give you two-faced deadbeats one last chance to do what I need you to do. This week only, the first 10 people to respond to this offer can have autographed copies of all 3 books in the Michael Worley Library, the classic video series collection, the VHS copy of my report on the ozone layer hole hoax, plus all 3 finished episodes of my canceled live-action historical drama series, Betrayed, the Archbishop Fulton J. Worley story, written and directed by and starring me, and a rough cut of the incomplete 4th episode, which no person other than me who is currently alive has seen, all for one low price of $219.99. The ball's in your court. I've always been there for you. Now it's your turn to make sure I get what I deserve. You know what to do. Of course, the retirement of Shecky Shellberg means that WOTC 1700 AM will need a new host to fill his time slot, the coveted 3 to 6 p.m. block that follows the Father Halber show. Whoever takes over that spot will have to be a person of considerable wit, in command of a broad array of knowledge about culture and current events, able to provide insight and context to the often troubling goings-on in our chaotic, desperate world. They will have to be a host, a leader, a mentor, a friend, and a role model, a man to whom others can look to know how to act and what to think. Obviously, people of such quality are in short supply, especially in the broadcast field, which is why the One True Church's TV station, WOTC Channel 67, has had to settle for the execrable Mark Fairsing all these years. But lucky for the radio station, I have the perfect man in mind to replace Shecky Shellberg. It'll take one heck of a pair of feet to fill Shecky's shoes, and it just so happens that such a pair belongs to me. None of you faithful Whirlpool watchers need me to explain why I'm the perfect choice to succeed Shecky Shellberg. My record speaks for itself. But just in case there are some more casual viewers in the audience, I hope you regulars will bear with me as I enumerate my qualifications for the sake of the normies. First and foremost, anyone tasked with choosing Shecky's replacement should know that I have the One True Church, that'd be the OTC in WOTC, in my blood. I am the youngest scion of the mighty Whirly clan. I am the grandnephew of our church's eminent founder, St. Veritas. I am the great-grandnephew of the legendary Archbishop Fulton J. Whirly, whose mistreatment and imprisonment by the conciliar church prompted the founding of the One True Church in the first place. And yes, I am the brother of the current leader of the One True Church, Archbishop of Wilkes-Barre, Novatian. I graduated from St. Veritas High School in the top 2/3 of my class. I hold a Bachelor of Fine Divinities degree from the University of St. Veritas. I have been writing, producing, and hosting the Whirlpool for the last 23 years, which, you math whizzes in the audience will notice, is 8 years longer than YouTube has existed. And today, the Whirlpool is the most watched traditionalist Catholic streaming video series produced in the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre metropolitan area. There is no one, and I mean no one, better qualified for this position than me. And if you pass me over for this, you will be making a terrible, terrible mistake. So to the station manager of WOTC 1700 AM, I implore you, for the sake of the people of the One True Church, for the sake of my career, and for your own sake, do the right thing. Give me the job. Put me on the gosh darn radio. I deserve it. And to those of you who think I'm being egotistical by touting my own talents and accomplishments, let me quote the great broadcaster and Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient Rush Limbaugh himself. It's not bragging if you can do it. I'm sure all those who are familiar with my work will agree that everything they say about Rush is true of me as well. Maybe even a little more so. For the Whirlpool, I'm Michael Whirly.